Hello Crypto Cats, my name is Tom and I am the Crypto Investor, and it's time for our weekly market roundup. We start with the heat map of the top 100 coins in crypto, and you can see that it's not a pretty week. Again, we are red. Ethereum is down 11% on the week at 1,888. Bitcoin faring a bit better, as it does tend to do on the way down 6.4%. Most alts getting hammered 15 to 20% or so. A few kind of areas of green, new economic movement up 30%. Not sure why. We'll have a look and see if it's of note. HBAR up 9%, OKB, Leo up modestly, but overall it's not pretty this week in crypto. Let's have a look at the bubbles. Much the same. Telcoin down 33%. We have Ravencoin up 15%. AXS up 7%. This was up 50 odd percent for the week. It's now come back somewhat. If you haven't watched my video last week about AXS and why we have seen this monumental growth in this cryptocurrency, please do go and watch it. Basically, it has to have your attention right now. Look at the revenue generated by this coin. So this coin has made more money than Bitcoin and Ethereum combined, or all of the DeFi coins combined and some. It has made 40 million in the last 7 days. In the last 30 days, it is also the best performing coin by revenue by quite some margin, making 75 million. If you're not familiar with what it is, it's basically a game where people create these fantasy creatures that they battle against each other, and these creatures are NFTs and they can be sold in the secondary market. The price has since actually had a bit of a pullback. These are 8-hour candles and it has come down somewhat. It's just coming into support here now. Not financial advice, but could be quite a nice time to lean in. I like revenue. I like having a metric to value a coin by, and the PE ratio actually gives us something tangible to say, you know, this coin is making X amount of money and so should have this value. Based on this PE ratio, it's the best value cryptocurrency there is out there, and it's got a strong tailwind of growth at the moment. Their Discord channel is up to 300,000 people. It's about to become the largest Discord channel in the world, overtaking Fortnite probably next week at this trajectory. They can't keep up with the metrics on their website. It's growing so fast. In fact, this sell-off here is due to their servers going down. They have not been able to keep up with the growth, and so a few people have been a little unhappy with the fact that there has been downtime. So, of course, they have to overcome those problems. One would imagine they will be able to deal with that scaling issue, but really interesting to see AXS. By the way, if you do like the content, please do hit the like button. Please do comment. I love reading all of your comments, and please do subscribe, share with your mates, etc., etc. Really appreciate it. All right, let's go into news articles. So one point I wanted to look at is this on-chain metrics Glassnode. This is interesting. You can see that the holders of Bitcoin who have been holding for 2 or 3 years are still reducing their positions in Bitcoin, whereas the people who have been holding long-term, who endured the 2017 or 2018 bear market, are effectively adding to their positions. So the smart money is starting to accumulate and add to their Bitcoin. So that's interesting to see. It's even more pronounced with Ethereum. The top 10 largest holdings of Ethereum are adding at quite some rate. So, you know, the smart money seems to be adding, which does give me some cause for hope in this crab market, bear market, call it what you will. This is a cool website, ultrasound.money. So this is the countdown to EIP 1559, when Ethereum will become deflationary. We're 17 days away. And you can see here on this chart, you know, between 2016 2017, every time a new block of Ethereum was mined, you got 5. So the amount of Ethereum in the network was going up quite aggressively. Then that jumped down to 3, then down to 2, and we're just 17 days away from when we will start to see a burn rate on every transaction and Ethereum total supply becoming deflationary. So, you know, this, okay, probably somewhat priced in. We've known about it for a while, but I don't think people quite appreciate how big a difference this will make on the tokenomics, particularly as we're getting more and more staked as well. But yeah, it's quite nice to use this. You can tinker with this, depending on how busy the network is, will obviously depend on how much burning there is. So, you know, if NFTs do grow and DeFi does grow as much as I think it will, you know, we could even see a much sharper deflation in the network. of the total supply. So cool website, well worth having on your radar. Some news events this week. So on the 21st, is that Wednesday or so, we have the B Word, which is this conference that Jack Dorsey, owner of Square, Twitter, has organized. And he called out to Elon to participate, and Elon said yes. And so that's going to be a catalyst either way. We know that Elon won't, he's not a shrinking violet. He has obviously caused us much grief in the market. Hopefully he's very mindful of that, and he will actually do his best to improve his image as well and help the market, and rather than alienate himself further. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get Elon making some positive news for us this Wednesday. It's quite a big deal. Cathie Wood from ARK Invest is also involved in this conference. So that is taking place this week. That is something to have on your radar. One of the most bullish pieces of news for me this week is Fidelity, the big investment house, are hiring 100 people for their crypto business because they need it for institutional investors. We know that institutional money is coming, and this is the best proof that we have out there, that the big fund houses are hiring personnel to deal with it. So really important to understand that price and fundamentals are not the same thing. We can see that the price of Bitcoin is dwindling at the moment, but fundamentally this is so different to what we saw in 2017. We've got so much happening, so much venture capitalist money flowing into this space. It's here to stay, and I take a lot of solace from this. So really good to see Fidelity hiring like this. That's, for me, extremely bullish news. We saw the CPI index, inflation, basically 5.4% in June, which is higher. They're aiming for 2% in the US, so hit 5.4%. So that's, your hamburgers, your gas for your car, etc., up 5.4% in price. Quite incredible jump in inflation, and so this is a very good tailwind for cryptocurrencies. If this really does start to increase further, then it really adds to the use case for Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. So just something everyone needs to be aware of. DeFi getting proactive. So Uniswap have got, I think they've got $1 billion or a couple of $1 billion in their treasury, and they have just allocated $20 million of that money effectively for lobbying DeFi with the US government. So educating the Congress about DeFi and the benefits. So it's good to see that money is flowing in the right direction. There was some controversy over this. They were meant to sell these Uniswap tokens gradually, and half of them, $10 million worth, got sold in an instant, which has pissed a lot of people off. But overall, good to see that DeFi is lobbying the Congress on this. Optimism launched this week. This is really cool to see. If you now go on Uniswap and you change your MetaMask to Optimism Network, you can buy and sell using the Optimism Network, the Layer 2 solution, and it's great. It's like going from dial-up to fiber optic. You can buy and sell between cryptocurrencies in an instant. It confirms straight away, and it costs like 20 cents. So gone are the days of high gas, and we have instant settling solutions. I don't think it's even possible that Uniswap are able to see that it's being confirmed their end, the speed that it happens. I think they're just working presumptively that they know that the settlement has been made, and they show it immediately on your MetaMask account. So yeah, really cool to see this Layer 2 solution working in real time. It will be rolled out to a number of other providers soon. Binance has stopped selling synthetics of stocks, so you can no longer buy things like Tesla and Apple on there. I said that I thought that this would be, the thing that ruffled the most feathers from a regulatory perspective. So I think this is interesting to see Binance making this concession, saying that we're not going to be providing synthetic stocks on here. It's the first time that they're clearly, acting because they don't want to. They're seeing a lot of doors closing very rapidly for them around the world. So Binance making a concession here, maybe it will slow down the regulation which we are seeing. And talking of regulation, another date for your diary, not this week, but next week, in 11 days' time, the SEC has their deadline on what crypto regulation they'll be putting in place. So, having this big hurdle ahead of us is spooky for the market, and I don't think any massive players are going to be jumping in and buying cryptocurrency until we passed this date on the 28th. I don't think enough people really appreciate this as a hurdle we have to jump. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some regulation on stablecoins come into play. I think something will happen, but hopefully it can pass without it being too dramatic an event. But that is something to very much have on your radar, and hopefully we get past it. I'm starting to think we're set for Bitcoin now to have its lowest weekly close since January. So in 6 months or so, and unless something dramatically changes in the next 12 to 24 hours or so. But it's not looking good. And the more that we test this critical 30,000 level, the weaker effectively it gets. There's only so many buy orders that come in. They have to be recharged. So maybe it's possible that we break it, but my best guess is that if we do break it and we see capitulation, a lot of the new hands will just be like, well, that's it. It's going down to 10,000 and sell. And I think we would see quite quick selling. A lot of stop losses would be triggered below 30,000. And I think we could see something where we come to 24 and then we rebound very, very, very quickly. And I think there's a lot of smart money that would be jumping in there. And that capitulation event could be our catalyst for real recovery. So I think it could be what takes us out of these doldrums, what takes us out of this sideways crab market. That's just my perspective. I saw this happen with gold back at the beginning of the year. So this was January. So gold had this blow off top where it got up to 2,100 or so. And then it's just drifted sideways and downwards. And then, if you watch this back, you can see that gold, if it will play for me, here we go. So gold, just sideways, much like Bitcoin, just dawdling along. And then is it going to do it? And then it capitulated. And then it found a double bottom here. And, everyone thought gold was done then, and then it recovered. And I think that's what we might see with Bitcoin. This is kind of what I'm anticipating to happen for Bitcoin. We need that capitulation before the buyers come back in. Yeah, you can just ignore this bit that's just happened. We are recovering a bit somewhat since then. And, it's not going to be the end of the chop for Bitcoin, but I think we need something like that personally to happen, or a news event that's really going to send us back upwards. Sadly, our rumors of Apple buying $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin are unfounded, if you did see those going around. I think it even made the Sun newspaper. It was just some random tweet that got picked up. It's the journalists at the Sun doing their due diligence. They're not. Okay, so, not much to report really from a technical analysis perspective. I'm not here to drill down into the hourly charts with you. I'm just here to give you that kind of broad macro paint stroke look at the charts. And looking at Ethereum, just bid in the last hour, which is nice to see. We're back to 1913 now. Overall, we're looking, if we do close here, it will be the lowest for since March. So not as painful as what we're seeing with Bitcoin. Ethereum just that little bit more bid, just that bit more structurally better than Bitcoin. But again, you can't deny that we do have a downward momentum at the moment. But I personally would like to see that kind of capitulation event. I've got my dry powder waiting to add into a large position if we do come down to 1,500 or so. I'm personally dollar cost averaging, and I think it's a great time, whilst we're in a sideways market, to dollar cost average, to keep on just buying every couple of weeks or so bits and pieces. So that is my strategy at the moment. Looking at shorts on Bitcoin, so that has just dropped 25% in the this week. So we have seen shorts on Bitcoin reducing, which is nice to see. And looking at DeFi, checking out the DPI index. So this is DPI versus Ethereum. This big old candle from when we launched completely ruins it. Come on. You can see that you can see very little. Come on, I'm just going to reset this chart. Who's with me? All right, so we got back above this critical 0.13 level, which is good to see, and we were recovering somewhat, and then we have had a bit of a bearish week. And again, you can dollar cost average into your favorite DeFi tokens, but for me the safer bet is to accumulate Ethereum until it really is apparent that we're back with upward momentum, which is not the case right now. So I'm waiting for that upward momentum, and then I will be moving my Ethereum into DeFi. Looking at Bitcoin dominance, it continues to creep up slightly on the back of, as the markets go down. Of course, the safe haven of Bitcoin is appealing. So we are just slightly seeing Bitcoin dominance creep up. I'm not expecting it to get above. If it does get above 50%, that's another warning sign that maybe we really are going into a bear market. But for me, it's not looking like that's the case. Ethereum dominance is interesting as well. This is a new thing which we're adding. So Ethereum dominance has never really got above 20% market cap. It did briefly during that ICO Cambrian explosion in 2017. So above 20% is the holy grail for Ethereum, and that's when big things are happening. But overall, you can see that over the last year or so, we've had this widening channel for Ethereum dominance. You could make a case for us having kind of a bull flag here. If Ethereum dominance does drop down anywhere near here, this is a wonderful time to be buying more Ethereum with your Bitcoin. But for me right now, I think we just see a kind of continuation bouncing between this support here and the 20 until we do get that breakout of 20, which I expect to happen in the coming 6 months to a year or so. All right. That really is it. I hope you found it useful. As I said, please do like and subscribe. It's not financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet, just giving my opinion. I hope it helps, and thank you for watching all the way to the end, you loyal crypto cat. I'll speak to you very soon. All the best.